कैवल्य स्वार्थं वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुजुगं श्रीजय।
Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 8, Offenses to be Avoided. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. First, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. But one who is a devotee knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali, Kali or Durga, Durga, and it is the same as Hare Krishna, that is the greatest offense. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Fifth, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth, to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reactions. It should not be taken that one may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. Karmakanda. 9th. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10th. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names, and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success.
Sorry, Prabhu is having a little technical difficulty in presenting the japa.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, having a little difficulty presenting the japa. I'll start as soon as I can.
Okay, no problem.
I'll continue the bhajan tape until I figure this out.
Okay, good.
Krishna Kirtana Ganana Tanapano Premamritam Manidhi.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakti. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Cannot hear you.
Hare Krishna and welcome everyone. Welcome. It's Sunday, March 29th. Welcome to the reading of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Delhi edition by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda, also known as the Hare Krishna movement, founder of the Hare Krishna movement or International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This class is being conducted by His Grace Yaśodā-nandana Dāsa, who is a senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He joined the Hare Krishna movement in his teens in the late 1960s. He received his first initiation from Srila Prabhupada in August 1969. He was instrumental in funding the construction of 3 major temples, the Krishna Balaram Mandir in Vrindavan, India, and the Mayapur Chandroida Mandir in Mayapur, near Calcutta, West Bengal, and the Sri Radha Madhava Madan Mohan Temple, Sri Radha Madan Mohan Temple in Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh. He traveled extensively throughout South India with Guru Kripa Swami in 1972 and 1973, and in 1975 and 1976 with Achyutananda Swami. He was also made in charge of the installation of the deities in the Hyderabad temple in 1976 by Srila Prabhupada and the temple in Fiji in 1977. In late 1976, Srila Prabhupada selected him to manage the Bhaktivedanta Swami Gurukul in Vrindavan, India. So now I would like to turn the class over to him.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Today we will be celebrating the appearance day of Lord Rāmacandra, or Ram Navami, although technically, according to the Indian calendar, Mayapur calendar, that was a few days ago. But given that we're having our class on Sunday, what we will do, excuse me, is read a few selected passages from Srila Prabhupada's lectures on Ram Navami. Excuse me. First, I want to read a story from Madhya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 9, text 11. Excuse me. Let me get some water here. In the book known as Adhyatma Ramayana, there are statements in chapter 12 to 15 about the worship of the deities Sri Rāmacandra and Sita. There it is stated that during Lord Ramacandra's time, there was a Brahmana who took a vow to fast until he saw Lord Ramacandra. Sometimes, due to business, Lord Rāmacandra was absent from his capital for a full week and could not be seen by citizens during that time. Because of his vow, the Brahmana could not take even a drop of water during that week. Later, after 8 or 9 days, when the Brahmana could see Lord Rāmacandra personally, he would break his fast. Upon observing the Brahmana's rigid vow, Lord Sri Rāmacandra ordered his younger brother Lakshmana to deliver a pair of Sitaram deities to the Brahmana. The Brahmana received the deities from Sri Lakshmanji and worshipped them faithfully as long as he lived. At the time of his death, he delivered the deities to Sri Hanumanji, who for many years hung them around his neck and served them with all devotion. After many years, when Hanumanji departed on the hill known as Gandha Madana, he delivered the deities to Bhimasena, one of the Pandavas, and Bhimasena brought them to his palace, where he kept them very carefully. The last king of the Pandavas, Kshemakanta, worshipped the deities in that palace. Later, the same deities were kept in the custody of the kings of Orissa, known as Gajapatis. One of the Acharyas, known as Narahari Tirtha, who was in disciplic succession of Madhvacharya, received these deities from the king of Orissa. It may be noted that these particular deities of Rama and Sita have been worshipped from the time of King Ikshvaku. Indeed, they were worshipped by the royal princes even before the appearance of Lord Rāmacandra. Later, during Lord Rāmachandra's presence, the deities were worshipped by Lakshmana. It is said that just 3 months before his disappearance, Sri Madhvacharya received these deities and installed them in the Udupi temple. Since then, the deities have been worshipped by the Madhvacharya Sampradaya at that monastery. As far as the Sri Vaishnavas are concerned, beginning with Ramanujacharya, they also worship deities of Sitarama. Sitarama deities are also being worshipped in Tirupati and other places. From the Sri Ramanuja Sampradaya, there is another branch known as Ramanandi or Ramai or Ramat, and the followers of that branch also worship deities of Sitarama very rigidly. The Ramanuja Sampradaya, Vaishnavas prefer the worship of Lord Ramacandra to that of Ramakrishna. Next, we will read a lecture from Srila Prabhupada on the Ram Navami in Hawaii on March 27th, 1969. Rama di Murti Shukala Niyamena Tishtan Nana Vataram Akarat Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Parama Pumanyo Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaha Bhajami. Brahma Samhita 539. This is a verse from Brahma Samhita in which the incarnation of Lord Ramacandra is described. Rama Adi, not only Rama, but there are many other innumerable incarnations. They are compared with the waves of a river. As the waves of the river or the waves of the ocean cannot be counted. Similarly, how many incarnations are there of the Supreme Lord? It is not possible to count. But out of them, the principal names are mentioned in the Shastras. Therefore, it is said Ramadi. Ramadi means Rama and also many incarnations. And they are existing. Not that one incarnation appeared and it is finished. No, not like that. Just like Lord Ramacandra appeared on this planet, say millions of years before, he appeared in the Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga means we have passed only 5,000 years of this age, Kali Yuga. Before that, there was Dwapara Yuga. Dwapara Yuga means 800,000 years. And before that, there was Treta Yuga, which continued for 1,200,000 of years. That means at least 2 million years before Lord Rāmacandra appeared on this planet. So now Lord Rāmacandra appeared in Ayodhya. There is a place in Ayodhya in northern India. There he appeared. As Krishna appeared in Mathura, that is also north in India. And Mathura is about 90 miles down southward from New Delhi. You have heard the name of New Delhi, the capital of India. So Ayodhya is all situated about 500 miles northeast of New Delhi. So Lord Rāmacandra appeared on this day. Today is called Sri Ram Navami. On the 9th day of the moon, Lord Rāmacandra appeared. His father was the king of Ayodhya, and he had 3 wives. He had 2 wives. So out of 2 wives, he got 4 sons. Rāmacandra is the eldest son. The life and activities of Lord Rāmacandra is in a book which is called Ramayana. You have heard the name of Ramayana. Ramayana, they are counted amongst the history. The history of Rāmacandra is that his father wanted to retire, Dasharatha, Maharaj Dasharatha, and he decided to enthrone Lord Rāmacandra and retired. So everything was settled. But just one day before, his youngest wife turned the whole thing into a different way. Sometimes Maharaj Dasharatha was suffering from what is called withlow, some trouble in the finger. And this queen served him very nicely, and he was pleased. And he said, "My dear Sarmishta, if you want some benediction from me, I can give you." And she replied that, "I shall ask you for the benediction when I require it, not now." So just one day before Lord Rāmachandra's coronation, she approached her husband, Maharaj Dasharatha, and reminded him, "My dear husband, you promised to give me some benediction, and I told you that I shall ask you when I require it." Maharaj Dasharatha said, "Yes, I remember. You want some benediction just now?" She said, "Yes." "And what is that?" She said that Rāmacandra cannot be seated on the throne. My son should be coronated, Bharata. He was surprised. It is a big demand. So he said, "All right, that will be done. Your son." Because formerly the kings, not only formerly, even up to date, there are many Kshatriya kings in India. They have more than one wife, and there is rivalry between different wives. So the same thing, human psychology is the same. Even 2 million years ago, the same mentality was there. And she asked that my son should be king, not Rāmacandra. Rāmacandra happened to be the son of Kaushalya, the elder queen. So Maharaj Dasharatha agreed and called for Rāmacandra. "My dear boy, she asked also that she was very diplomatic. She wanted that Rāmacandra go to the forest for 14 years. The idea was political, that the king may agree to install my son just now. Now, after a few days, this Rāmacandra may come with his army, and there must be some difficulty to continue the kingdom." So she wanted that Rāmacandra should go to the forest, and he should not come back till the end of 14 years from this day. So Maharaj Dasharatha agreed because he was Kshatriya. Just see the promise. A Kshatriya never goes back from the promise, never refuses any challenge. If a Kshatriya is challenged by somebody that I want to fight with you, he cannot refuse. This is Kshatriya spirit. He cannot say that I am now busy. Suppose somebody comes to you that I want to fight with you. You may say, "What nonsense fight? I have no time. We are in a temple." But a Kshatriya cannot deny that. A Kshatriya at once must accept, "Oh yes, come on." And the weapon should be, if he has no sword or weapon, he should be supplied weapon and fight. This is Kshatriya spirit. They were highly charitable and chivalrous in keeping promise, and with a great tendency for ruling over. They shall rule over administrators, their businesses. There are different prescriptions for different classes of men for their livelihood. The Brahmanas, they can pull on their livelihood by 6 ways. Patan, yajan, dana pratigraha. 6. And they must be qualified with 12 high qualities. We have many times discussed, out of that qualification, truthfulness is the first item for a Brahmana. A Kshatriya may speak lies. That is allowed because he has to be diplomat, politicians. But a Brahmana, he's not allowed to speak lies. That is the system, caste system or varnashram system. Everyone was trained because these 4 classes of men are required in a society. For proper upkeep of society, one class of men must be very intelligent, highly qualified with all good qualities. They must be trained in that way, ideal character, so that people can see and follow them. Therefore, Brahmanas were taken to so much respect because their ideal character, learned and godly, knows the science, spiritual science. Therefore, they're held in high estimation and topmost of the society. The next, the administrative class, Kshatriyas. They are trained how to kill. The Kshatriyas were allowed to hunt in the forest to learn the art of killing because that was necessities for the Kshatriya. Kshatriya, if the king, if he finds somebody is doing wrong, he can immediately chop off his head if he likes. The king was so powerful. And it is not that if there was some war, it is not that the president or the king shall sit down comfortably at home and ordinary soldiers will go and lay down their life. No. Formerly, the king or the head of state, he should first of all go there in the fight. You see in the picture, the chief man of the fighting in the Kurukshetra, both sides, they were arrayed this side, that side with their chariot. Not that the head man, the chief man, or the commander is taking shelter backside, protecting himself, and poor soldiers are thrown in the fighting. No. These were Kshatriya spirit, and it is necessary that a class of men should be trained up in that way, Kshatriya, fighting men, in India, because this training was there since a very long time. So there is no difficulty in recruiting soldiers there. There is a class of men, they're very much forward in fighting. Still, they're called just like the Gurkhas, the Nepalese. You ever heard the name of Nepal? Still a small state, independent state. They're not within India, between China and India. The whole Nepal population, they are Kshatriyas, but they are very good fighters. Similarly, the Sikhs, the Jatas, there are classes. So they're always forward for fighting. And you'll be surprised that the British Empire was voluntarily liquidated because they lost India. The Britishers, they understood that because we're now losing India, there's no more possibility to keep our Eastern Empire. Therefore, they liquidated it. Why? Actually, the whole British Empire was being administered or managed by Indian soldiers, these Sikhs and Gurkhas. They extended their empire. After taking their position with India, they extended British Empire in the Middle East and Far East simply by these Sikhs and Gurkha soldiers. They got supremacy under Burma and everywhere. So there is necessity of a class of fighting men. You are finding in your country difficulty in recruiting because the recruiting process is wrong. You are recruiting from persons. You are training persons just like Shudras, and you want them to fight. How they can fight? It is not possible. So it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagasaha. Bhagavad Gita 4:13. Lord Krishna said the 4 classes of or orders of the society, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, is planned by me according to work and quality. So this Kshatriya quality man is also required. The Brahmana quality of man is also required. The mercantile community, they're also required, and the laborer class, they're also required. Of course, laborer class, they do not require any training. Laborer class means one who cannot do anything, neither become Brahmana, nor become Kshatriya and become Vaishya. That means the last balance of the population, they're called laborer class, Shudra. Shudra means one who has no training. Shudra has no samskara. Samskara means training. Everyone is accepted as Shudra by birth. Janmana jayate Shudra. Janmana means by birth. By birth, everyone is born a Shudra, a fourth-class man. It is to be accepted, and actually, just like a child, innocent child, what does he know? He has to be trained. Either you train him as a Brahmana, or train him as a Kshatriya, or train him as a Vaishya. Or otherwise, he's Shudra already, born Shudra. Shudra has no training. Everyone, the basic principle, basic foreground, everyone, it is accepted Shudra. Now, if you train him as a Brahmana, then he becomes a Brahmana. If you train him as a Kshatriya, then he becomes a Kshatriya. If you train him as a Vaishya, so I think this system is very scientific, so that if you want help of a really intelligent man or God-realized man, it is ready, the Brahmana class. Just like if you required the help of a lawyer, we've got so many lawyers. If you require the help of medical men, because there are trained men. Similarly, the society requires to train a certain class of men to become Brahmanas. Just like we are training the Krishna conscious. The Krishna consciousness is meant for the Brahmanas. They're not meant for fighting because they're not being trained for fighting. They have been trained for becoming Brahmanas. Who is Brahmana? Brahma janati iti Brahmana. The four divisions are described like this. Janmana jayati Shudra. Everyone is born Shudra.
Here last year.
You have to train him, just like boys are sent to school for being trained. So everyone is accepted as Shudra. But if you now train him, he goes to the Guru Griha. Guru Griha means teacher's house. Formerly, for being trained, there was no such big school and colleges. Every village, still 50 years before in India, in every village there was a small school conducted by the Brahmana. And the village children would be trained up there. So he was sent for training, and there was no school fee. The boys will go there, and on behalf of the teacher or spiritual master, they will go brahmachari door to door and beg and bring forth alms, rice, dal, grains, everything. That was the system. There was no school fee. There was no problem how to send a boy to the school, samskara. Now he's trained up. The teacher sees the psychology of the boy, in which way he should be trained. Either he should be trained as a Vaishya, or he should be trained as a Kshatriya. So everyone was trained like that, but generally the son of a Kshatriya. Just like Maharaj Rāmacandra or Arjuna, from the very beginning, they were trained as Kshatriya. Naturally, if somebody is the son of a medical man, his father trains him to become a medical man in future. That is the natural tendency. If the boy is different altogether, that is another question. But naturally, that is the tendency. So a Kshatriya's son was trained as Kshatriya. A Brahmana's son was trained as Brahmana. And Vaishya's son was trained as a Vaishya. And Shudra had no training. So gradually, this became a caste system. Brahmana's son became Brahmana, because formerly the training was there. But when it is vitiated, although a person born in the family of a Brahmana is doing the work of a Shudra. So according to Vedic scripture, one is classified according to his work and quality, not by birth. That is the qualification of Shastra. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhakachaha. Guna means quality and karma means work. One must be qualified for the work and must be actually work. Then he is counted, classified into that, I mean to say, category. Just like if you are simply trained or educated as a lawyer, if you're not practicing the court, nobody comes to you to consult as a lawyer. Nobody cares for you. You must be practicing also. Similarly, to become a Brahmana means that he must know what is Brahman, and he must actually be situated in the activities of Brahman. So devotional service are activities of Brahman. Activities in Krishna consciousness means activities in Brahman. Brahme charati iti Brahma brahmachari. Charati means acts. Actually, he acts in life, applies the principles of Brahman in his life, is called brahmachari. So these were the trainings. Just see how the training was that a Kshatriya cannot refuse his promise. So Maharaj Dasharatha, he fulfilled the promise of his youngest wife and asked his eldest son Rāmacandra, my dear boy, you'll have to go to forest for 14 years. That is the desire of your youngest mother. And I promise that I shall fulfill her promise. Oh, request. So please accept. Rāmacandra said, yes, father, I am ready. Just see, this is the quality. Out of the 6 opulences of God, this is one quality. Aishvaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashasriya jnana vairagyayoscheva sannam bhagamitingana. Vishnu Purana 6.547. How one becomes God. God is not manufactured by both. There are definite definition who is God. God must be the proprietor of all the riches. Aishvaryasya samagrasya. Samagra means all. Nobody can compete with him. Here in this world, material world, I'm a rich man, and there is another rich man who can compete with me. There is another rich man who can compete with him. But nobody can compete with God in richness. That is one qualification of God. Nobody can say that I'm richer than God. You can say I'm richer than Ford or Rockefeller in this or that. You can say, but nobody can say that I'm richer than God. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Mataha parataram nanyat asti kinchid dhananjaya. Mata parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya. Bhagavad Gita 7:7. Dhananjaya is the name of Arjuna. And Krishna said, my dear Arjuna, there is nobody greater than me. So if anyone claims that he is God, he must prove by practical example that nobody is richer than him. That is the first. But unfortunately, we are accepting so many gods. A rascal in the street, he also claims that I am God. So similarly, the other qualifications, nobody can be stronger than God. Nobody can be wiser than God. Nobody can be more beautiful than God, and nobody can be more renounced than God. So here, Rāmacandra, Lord Rāmacandra exhibited the quality here. He renounced the whole kingdom simply on the order of his father, his obedience to father. He could have argued with his father, my dear father, you simply, for keeping your promise, and actuated by the dictation of a woman, you're doing this. Let us stop it. Everyone is expected that tomorrow my coronation will be there, and they love me so much. Because he, just like Krishna, was so much love. Similarly, Lord Rāmacandra was the life of the people. They were very much expecting that Rāmacandra was going to be enthroned tomorrow. So how they were celebrating, how they were decorating the whole city, everything, he never argued. He accepted immediately, yes, father, I am ready. So then one of the brothers, Lakshman, he also requested Rāmacandra, my dear brother, you also take me. I'm your constant companion. I must go with you. So he said, that's your wish, voluntarily. If you want to come, you can come with me. Then Sita, his wife, young wife, she also said, I'll go with you. Rāmacandra requested his wife, oh, you cannot go with me. It is very difficult. You are a king's daughter. You are brought up in so nice way, and you are so beautiful. You cannot go. You cannot take the trouble of living in the forest. So she said, oh, I am your wife, married wife, so I must go even if you go to hell. This is ideal wife. She could have refused. Oh, your father has ordered me to go to forest. You can go. I shall go to my father's house, or I shall remain here. So this is ideal wife. She must be prepared to accept any circumstances of the husband. Not that when the husband is rich, the wife is very faithful. And when he has come down to be poor, he's going to forest, the wife gives up company. No. Wife means better half. She must abide. Just like it is said, just like a shadow follows the reality. Similarly, the wife is the shadow of the husband. Wherever the husband goes, she must go. Whatever the husband wants, she must carry out. Of course, in this country, this interpretation is taken differently. That wife is made a slave, but actually it is not so. When Sita was kidnapped in the jungle, Rāmacandra expected that she was beautiful, she was young. She shall be in open jungle. It may be some demons may come, and actually it so happened. So for Sita, Lord Rāmacandra massacred the whole family of Ravana, only for Sita. So as the husband, so the wife. The wife was so faithful that she could not remain alone. She must accompany the husband even in the forest. And the husband was so faithful that, oh, my wife has been kidnapped. So he massacred the whole family of Ravana. So these are ideal history, how Rāmacandra, Lord Rāmacandra, appeared in this world to educate or to place ideal example of a king, how the king should be. Therefore, when there is good government, the example is given, Rāmacandra. It is the kingdom of Lord Rama, because everyone was happy, everyone. So there are so many instances in the life of Rāmacandra. One Brahmana, not Brahmana exactly, somebody came into Rāmacandra because at that time there was no court like this, that you have to go to a court and apply with stamp fee. Then your judgment will be delivered after 6 years. It is not like that, or 40 years. It is not like that. Anyone who has got some complaint, he should. The king used to sit in the open audience, and the citizens were allowed to approach the king and place their complaint. Because there was no complaint, practically everyone was happy. Very minor complaint. So somebody came to Rāmacandra and he charged Rāmacandra, my dear king, my son has died. How is that? In the presence of his father, son can die? So there must be something wrong in your government. Just see. The charge is why my son has died before my death. This is unnatural. So there was nothing unnatural. Okay. So there was nothing unnatural. The king was responsible even for severe cold, severe heat. Then we get from history of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, that is stated. So the kings were so much responsible. They were always thinking of the happiness of the citizens. And the citizens were also so nice. One citizen approached Lord Rāmacandra and his next assistant, his brother Lakshmana, informed him that he's a Brahmana. You were absent on your tour for, I think, for a fortnight or a month. And this Brahmana has not even a drop eaten, even a drop of water during your absence. Why? Because he comes here to see you, darshan. Just like we come here in the temple to see the deity. So Lord Rāmacandra was present personally. So he used to come after seeing Rāmacandra, offering his obeisances, then he would go home and take something, his breakfast. That was his vow. And because he could not see for a fortnight or a month Lord Rāmacandra, because he was out on political tour, he did not eat even. Just see, the citizens were similar to the king. So at that time, there was a statue of Rāmacandra, which was being worshipped in the family from Maharaj Ikshvaku. So Maharaj Ikshvaku, the son of Manu, happens to be the forefather of the family in which Rāmacandra appeared. So he was devotee of Lord Rama, and he was worshiping the statue of Lord Rama. So that statue was being worshipped by the family, one after another. But when Rāmacandra was actually present, he kept that statue in the closet of the room. And when this Brahmana approached Lord Rāmacandra, and Rāmacandra was informed by Lakshmana that he is so steady and strong in his vow, so Rāmacandra ordered that he may be delivered that statue, so that in my absence he can offer respect to the statue and do with this. That form, I mean to say, statue or archa of Rāmacandra is still existing in South India. It is being worshipped from that time. So these were the dealings of Rāmacandra. Then he, his younger brother Lakshmana, and his wife went to the forest, and his wife was kidnapped by the diplomacy of the demon Ravana. And there was a fight between Ravana and Rama. Ravana was very materialistically, he was very strong. But the thing is, for fighting with Ravana, Rāmacandra did not come back to his kingdom and take his army. No, he did not come back because he was ordered to live in the forest. So he organized army with the jungle animals, the monkeys. The monkeys he fought with Ravana and organized materialists with the monkeys. You have seen the picture? And he constructed a bridge between India's last point to the other side. Ceylon is considered to be the kingdom of Ravana. So there was a bridge and the stones were floating. So there are so many historical incidences in the life of Rāmacandra. And we should remember, because if we remember why we're observing today fasting for Rāmacandra, there were many kings like Rāmacandra, because the kings were trained in that way. Maharaj Yudhishthira was also as good as Rāmacandra, and Maharaj Parikshit was as good. There were many such kings, but we are not concerned because he was king. He is king of all kings, Parameshvara, because he is God, therefore we're observing today. Ramadi Murtishu Kalanyamena Tishtan, Brahma Samhita 539. So he's not original form of God. The original form of God is Krishna. And Krishna expends himself in various other forms. Advaitam achyutam anadim anantarupam. Brahma Samhita 533. Anantarupam means millions and millions. The Manu is also incarnation of Krishna. So in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. So Brahma lives for 100 years. Just see how many incarnations of Manu are there, even for one Brahma. And there are innumerable Brahmas also. So as stated in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, that nobody can count how many incarnations are there. But some of the chief incarnations are mentioned, and Lord Rāmacandra is one of them. So Lord Rāmacandra, he killed Ravana and he installed his brother. His brother was devotee, Vibhishana. So he did not go to conquer Ceylon because he was emperor. He went to punish that culprit Ravana, and he installed his younger brother Vibhishana in that. And he came back with Sita, and again he was installed after 14 years. And his brother was so faithful that so long as eldest brother was away, Rāmacandra requested him that your mother wants that you should be king, and I also wish that in my absence you should be king. Bharata, he was so faithful, brother, replied, no, you are king. So long you are living, nobody can be king. So I cannot be king. Then he requested at least you administer, because after the departure of Lord Rāmacandra, Maharaj Dasharatha died out of the shock, because Rāmacandra was very pet son, eldest son. He was going to be king, and by his order, he was sent to the forest. The father could not tolerate the shock, he died. So Rāmacandра's life, God's activities, pastimes, if we hear, that means we're associating with Rāmacandra. Let me just repeat that. So Rāmacandра's life, God's activities, pastimes, if we hear, that means we're associating with Rāmacandra. There is no difference between his form, his name, his pastimes, and himself. He is absolute. Therefore, either you chant the holy name of Rama, or you see the statue of Rama, or you talk of his pastimes, transcendental pastimes, everything. That means you're associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we take advantage of these days when the incarnation of God appears or disappears, and we try to associate with him. By his association, we become purified. Our process is purification. Krishna consciousness means simply we are purifying our consciousness. From the birth, I've explained, everyone is Shudra. Shudra means one who laments. That is called Shudra. For a slight loss or slight inconvenience, one who laments is called Shudra. And Brahmana means one who tolerates. A Shudra has no toleration. So Kalo Shudra Sambhavaha. Kalo means this age is called Kali. So it is the statement of the Shastras that in this age, the whole population is Shudra. And formerly also, by his birth, everyone was considered Shudra. But there was training, samskara. At the present moment, there is no samskara. There is no training. The training is only for earning livelihood. No other training. How one can earn money and enjoy senses, that is the training at the present moment. But actually, to make successful the human life or the mission of human life, the Vedic culture is very nice. And by spreading Krishna consciousness, by adopting the process of Krishna consciousness, you can revive that cultural life, sublime life. If not wholesale, if there are a few people trained up in this line, and they become ideal examples to the society, immense benefit can be derived from their examples. What is time? Kirtan. This was from a lecture by Srila Prabhupada in Hawaii on the 27th of March, 1969. Jai Sri Rāmacandra Bhagavan Ki Jai. Is Ishan Prabhu with us? Ishan, would you like to make a few comments? Is he here?
Yes, he is.
Oh, very good. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I'm just listening, Prabhu. I'm just hearing. Thank you very, very much. Hare Krishna.
So you say a few words.
So many points arose while you were reading, but now I'm not holding on to them. I was just going along. Hare Krishna.
Okay, very good. So we will proceed with our reading of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, the story of Ashwatthama and Draupadi. We've read last week that Draupadi was pleading to spare the life of Ashwatthama because he did not want his wife to grieve, and because Arjuna had received training from Dronacharya, and therefore she felt that it would not be proper if, yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
Thinking about this, you see, Draupadi's position that, you see, these people are like family members. These people, this is a Brahmin, this is the Brahmin's son, and this is our tradition, this is Vedic law, the letter of the law, the laws of Dharma, the laws of karma, everything. But actually we have to understand, it occurs that Draupadi's arguments are not different from Arjuna's arguments before the Battle of Kurukshetra. Draupadi's arguments are not different from Bhishma's arguments that I've been maintained by Duryodhana, therefore I have to fight on this side. Draupadi's arguments are not different from Dronacharya's arguments that these people, I have been maintained by them, therefore I have to support them. All of these are rules of Dharma. The Manu Samhita, the 22 law books. But there's something, Sarva Dharman Parityagya, you give up all of these ideas of Dharma and you just try to understand what is pleasing to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this point should be brought out in this discussion as that Draupadi, she's a very fine, refined lady, goddess of fortune, that but still, just as Arjuna is Karpanya dosho svahata sabhava, that now I am confused about what is the real duty. So Krishna is saying the real duty is to understand what pleases my heart, what I want from you. And this is one of the points I think that should be aired in this discussion of Draupadi's contention, that we should not cut off the head.
Excellent.
Okay, Hare
Excellent.
Krishna.
So let us proceed with the Jai Radha Madhava, and then we'll gradually migrate to the actual text for today. Thank you for your comment, Prabhu.
Sai. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya
Jai Nitilila Pravishtam Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Ashtottara Shatashri Śrīmad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jayam Swasaram Srividrajagacharya Siddhara Sadasyaman Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavindra Ki Jai. Rāmacandra Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridharan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Swami Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Swami Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 1:1:1. Narayanam namaskritya. Narayanam namaskritya. Naram cheva narottamam. Naram cheva narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Tato Jayam Mudirayet. One should utter the means of conquest, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead, Narayana, 2, to the Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 1-4. Thanks everybody for participating in this reading and discussion on Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Today we'll be reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, text number 4950. Sutta uvacha dharmam nyayam sakarunam nirvalikam saman mahat dharam raja dharma sutarajnyaha pratyanandat vachos dvijaha. Sutta uvacha, Sutta Goswami said, dharmyam, just to the principles of religiosity, nyayam, justice, sakarunam, full of mercy, raja, the king, dharmasuta, son, samam, equity, mahat, glorious, nirbalikam, without any duplicity of dharma, rajnyaha, by the queen, pratyanandat, supported, vacho, statement, dvijaha, O the Brahmins. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Sutta Goswami said, O the Brahmins, the king Yudhishthira fully supported the statements of the queen, as they were just to the principles of religiosity, justified, full of mercy, without any duplicity, full of equity and glorious. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj Yudhishthira, who was the son of Dharmaraj or Yamaraj, fully supported the words of Draupadi, the queen, because the queen, just to the principles of religiosity, asked Arjuna to release Ashwatthama from being tied with ropes. One should not tolerate such humility of the member of a great family. Such consideration was just for the reason that Arjuna and the family were indebted to the family of Dronacharya on account of Arjuna's learning the military science from him. If ungratefulness was shown to such benevolent family, it was not at all justified from moral standpoint. It was merciful because the wife of Dronacharya, who was the half-body of the great soul, must be treated with compassion, and she should not be put into grief on account of her son's death. That was full of compassion. Such statements of Draupadi was without any duplicity because action should be taken with full knowledge of the facts. Feeling of equality was there because Draupadi spoke all such words out of her personal experience. A barren woman cannot understand the grief of a mother. Draupadi was herself a mother, and therefore her calculation of the depth of grief of Kripi was quite right to the point. And it was glorious because she wanted to show proper respect to a great family. Text number 50. Nakula Sahadevaschayu Dharma Dhananjaya Bhagavan Devaki Putra Yechanye Yaschasho Yichdyoshitaha. Nakulaha of the name, Sahadevas of the name, Cha and Yuyudhanaha Satyaki, Dhananjayaha Arjuna, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Devaki Putra, the son of Devaki, Lord Sri Krishna, Ye, those, Anye, others, Ya, those, Cha, and Yoshitaha, ladies. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The younger brothers of the king, Nakula and Sahadeva, and so also Satyaki and Arjuna, including the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, the son of Devaki and others, and the ladies, all were unanimous with the king. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhaktivedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Bhagavad Bandhana Kadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadatehi Visheshataha Adadana Strinam Danteridam Yachip Punaha Punaha Śrīmad Rupa Padam Bhoja Dhulisyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavatosmyaham Sadadaso Asmi Sarvata Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Prishta Sat Karomi Svam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Srila Prabhupada makes a very good summary of all the points that are being raised by Draupadi in his purport of text 49. Now, this is very clear. It's easy to understand. And as we will see in a later discussion on this particular chapter, how everything ends, Krishna is telling Arjuna, he will be telling Arjuna, that you have to consider all of these different factors. You have to consider everything and do what is proper, because there's many different considerations here. Draupadi is bringing them up. She's saying you should be compassionate. You should not kill him because he is the son of our teacher. We don't want to put his wife into grief. We should be respectful to the tradition of the teacher. And there should be proper treatment of this individual because he's a Brahmana, although he behaved like a Brahma Bandhu. But all these considerations are being put out here. So it's very important to understand that what is going to happen here. Because now we see in the next text that Nakula and Sahadev and Satyaki, they all agreed with Draupadi. They all agreed. Oh yeah, this is very good advice, very good dharma. And as pointed out by Ishan Prabhu earlier in the program, we also have to see what is Krishna's vision here. What is Krishna getting ready to tell Arjuna? Because there's already been so many discussions that this so-called Brahmin is not qualified as a Brahmin by having performed a very heinous, abominable action of killing 5 sleeping children. Bhima, one of the strongest Pandavas, said he should be killed. The other, Draupadi, the wife, is saying, no, don't kill him. He's the son of a Brahmana. He's the son of our teacher. We don't want to aggravate or cause grief to his wife. And it'll be fascinating to see how Krishna is going to tell him to handle this. Now, the point being that there's a lot of different injunction in the Shastras. Just like in different times of preaching in South India, we had the opportunity to encounter many Smarta Brahmanas, caste Brahmanas, many Shivites, many Mayavadis, and even Vaishnavas, caste Brahmins. They don't believe that you can actually become a Brahmana if you are born as a Shudra like us. Actually, we were born lower than Shudras. We were born as Mleshas and Yavanas. Actually, I corrected one of these Brahmanas. Says, you were born as a Shudra. He says, oh, no. We are Bayir Varna, outside of these 4 Varnas. We are lower than Shudra. It says, but in your Shastra, it is described, Namno hi yavati shaktihi, Papa nirharane harehe, tavat kartum nachaknoti patakam pataki naraha. In the Vishnu Purana, there is description that if one chants the name of Vishnu or Krishna once, all of his karma for millions of births is immediately wiped out. That a person cannot commit enough sins that one name of Krishna or Vishnu cannot clear out. So the question was posed to a big Mayavadi sannyasi in India, that if you say that we cannot be Brahmins, you accept the statement of the Shastra, whether or not the eating of meat is more powerful than the name of Vishnu or the name of Krishna? It says, because your Shastra clearly says that one name of Krishna clears out all the karmas for millions of years. Then he admitted, yes, but they still stick to their opinion. Even if you defeat their argument, you present them quotation from the Shastra, you give him quotation from Bhagavad Gita. I've personally seen this. Prabhupada was talking to a life member in Calcutta. And Giriraj Prabhu was there at the time. At the time he was Prabhu Dasa. So he had invited a very wealthy man. He was the richest tea merchant in India. And this person was a follower of one of the big Ramanuja gurus from South India. And this guru had come to Calcutta. They had a big, huge, opulent marble temple in North Calcutta. But this temple, they would not allow us to go in because they considered us Shudras. So you can't allow, he says, you people are non-Hindus. So this life member comes there with 2 Brahmins. They have big tilak and everything, and they start to argue with Prabhupada. And it's very interesting, the exchange, because Prabhupada leans back. Sometimes Prabhupada would lean back, he would put his knee in his bead bag. The beads were moving, and he's looking at these people, staring at them, and they're talking, and some in Hindi, some in English. And at some point, Prabhupada just exploded at these people. He gave him about 6 or 7 Sanskrit and Bengali quotes, one after the other. It says, this idea is wrong. This caste Brahmanism is wrong. This hereditary Brahminical right is wrong. He gave him the example. If you're born as the son of a judge, are you qualified to go sit on the bench? You can't just go sit on the bench. You can be shown proper honor as the son of a high court judge or Supreme Court judge, but you can't just go walk on the bench and say, well, my father is the high court judge, I'm going to come sit there. No, you're not qualified yet. A person has to become qualified. But they could not deny his argument, but they refused to accept. This is the stubborn mentality of the caste Brahmins. Even though you give them all of the explanation, all the Shastric evidence, all the explanation of Srila Prabhupada is given, they've still refused to accept. This is the unfortunate position of Kali Yuga. But some are intelligent. There was one descendant of Gopal Bhatta Goswami in Sri Rangam. His name was Rangaraj Bhattar. He was the main priest of the entire Sri Rangam temple. When we first went there in 1972 with Guru Kripa Swami, the pujari said, you can't come here, you're not Hindus. The only person who can allow you in here is the chief priest. You have to go to his house. And we didn't know where he was. He said, you just go outside, go this place, that place. So we kept asking. And we ended up at this house of this Brahmin, Rangaraj Bhattar, big Brahmin, big, huge tilak. And he invited us to his house. And Guru Kripa pointed out, he had a picture of Lord Chaitanya on the wall. So Guru Kripa asked him, you're for the Ramanuja Sampradaya and you have a picture of Lord Chaitanya on the wall? And this Brahmin said, you do not know what this house is. This house is the house where Gopal Bhatta, you're in your Sampradaya. This is where he lived. And he brought up some manuscript showing the whole line from Venkata Bhatta, Gopal Bhatta. It says, your Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go worship at the Jagannath deities a few hundred feet. There's a Jagannath temple down the street. He says, I will take you to the temple. So he gave us some special tulsi, special prasadam that had offered to Ranganath. He says, we will go to the temple, then I will bring you some prasad. So he brought us to the temple and he explained, because we showed him some of Prabhupada's books. And later on, what happens in 1976, when we were making the arrangement for the opening of the Radha Madan Mohan Temple in Hyderabad, he wrote a very nice letter of recommendation. And when we visit him again, actually, these books written by Prabhupada is the culmination of all the Vaishnavacharyas for writing these books, the summum bonum of all Vaishnavacharyas. Because Prabhupada he didn't just sit in a room and write books. He went all over the world. He preached everywhere. And sometimes we see some foolish nonsense people telling people, oh, why don't you write a letter to Prabhupada, see what he replies. I wanted to reply, well, why don't you offer Krishna some prasad, some bhoga? See after 15 minutes if the bhoga is there. Do you conclude there's no Krishna? That Krishna doesn't exist? This is atheistic mentality. Thinking Guru Sho Naramatihi, taking the spiritual master to be an ordinary man. And to think that the Shaligram of Krishna, the transcendental body of the Shaligram is just an ordinary stone, or that the deity is an ordinary. Shiladi Guru Shu Naramatihi. Vaishnava Jati Buddhi, to think that a Vaishnava is according to some caste. There are so many misconceptions, but these misconceptions can all be counteracted and properly defeated simply by hearing from Srila Prabhupada. He has given all the explanations. And I saw this in that meeting with these two caste Brahmins in 1971 in Calcutta. Prabhupada at one point, he says, these devotees, they're engaged 24 hours a day in serving Krishna. Why do you think they cannot be Brahmana? What is your reason? No answer. Just stubborn obstinacy. That is why during the time of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada talks about this in one lecture. Srila Prabhupada is explaining that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, anybody who came, even if they came from a Brahmin family, they had to be properly initiated according to the Pancharatrikta system. Here's a very nice quote here provided by Neil Sharma Prabhu. Can you bring it down a little bit? Prabhupada is explaining. So we're not introducing caste system, that any rascal born in a Brahmin family becomes a Brahmana. We don't accept that. A man who is first class trained up to become a Brahmana, we accept him. It doesn't matter whether he's India or Europe or America. It does not matter. We are trying to introduce this system. This is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Caste system means a man is born in a Brahmin family. And if by habit he's fifth class man, he's accepted first class man on account of birth. Similarly, a person very intelligent, he can be adaptable to all first class habit, but because he's born in a Shudra family, he's Shudra. We want to stop this nonsense. We are picking up first class brain and training how to become first class men. This is our business. Not that by introducing this rubbish thing. No, we're not introducing. Otherwise, how I am offering them sacred thread? Now, just see anyone from India, he will understand he's a first-class Brahmana. We are training like that. I'm coming back to my point that during the time of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, there were several disciples of Bhaktivedanta Thakur who objected to Bhaktisiddhanta that why you are making these people that were born in Brahmin families take another Pancharatrika initiation. And Bhaktisiddhanta explained, we don't accept this Brahmin by birth. That we do not accept. Everybody has to be properly initiated according to the Pancharatrika system. And if we see how Prabhupada introduced, he would give first initiation. And after 6 months or a year, when people would be qualified and fixed up in chanting and following properly, then he would offer them the Brahmin initiation and follow with proper training. This is called Purashcharya. Not that simply all of a sudden somebody puts a Brahmin thread and he's a Brahmin. Actually, this is predicted in the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam. Vipatre Sutra Evahi. Sutra means the Brahmin thread. You're just putting on a Brahmin thread in Kali Yuga, people will think he has become a Brahmin. Not like that. Proper qualification must be there. So I'm wondering, Prabhu, I've wanted to, maybe if you could comment on the point we made earlier, that a lot of these points mentioned in these Dharma Shastras and various religious ritualistic codes, what is Krishna's final verdict regarding these things?
Before I talk about such a thing, you were talking about the obstinacy that even when Srila Prabhupada is offering so many arguments, they cannot hear. So we have today a similar situation, that there are so many arguments about what? All of the letters that Srila Prabhupada wrote about Ācārya, about Ritvika initiation. And we have letters, we have recorded discussions by Srila Prabhupada, we have no direct. And there, no matter how many arguments you put forward, how much logic, you will find that on the part of ISKCON, the GBC, and the so-called elected gurus, this obstinacy. So, but the idea is, you can talk about these arguments from today till what we call doomsday, till the end of the universe, when Lord Shiva does his dance. They will never accept. But what is the understanding of what is a guru? Therefore, Srila Prabhupada says, Guru must be Mahabhagavat, the pure devotee of Krishna. Why must he be a pure? Because a most neophyte devotee like myself, I can say, chant 16 rounds, go to Mangal Arti, take morning bath, attend Tulasi Puja, attend Bhagavatam class, take prasadam, go out, distribute books, the same instructions that Srila Prabhupada is giving. But can I give what Srila Prema Bhakti from him? This ecstatic love of Krishna emanates. This is why, this is the essential aspect of what a guru is, that he can give what Lord Chaitanya is distributing, what no other avatar has ever even offered before, this taste of love of Krishna. Therefore, we have to have an intimate relationship with someone in that disciplic succession, imbibe the taste of his devotion. So this obstinate position of the people in ISKCON, because they do not understand what a real guru is. Just like we sing every morning in our samsara prayers, that he's very expert in assisting the gopis who are engaged in the perfection of the Radha Krishna conjugal love affairs, and at different times, and our spiritual master is there to assist in these affairs. This is the caliber of what a guru is in Lord Chaitanya's Hare Krishna movement. So, but no matter how much argument, this obstinacy, they're no better than caste Brahmin. Instead of being that my father's a Brahmin, they're saying the GBC has made me Brahmin. Same business, same stupidity, same obstinacy. Okay, so I just wanted to say like that. But before we go further, so I wanted, Prabhu, can you bring up that first verse purport that we had today? That where Srila Prabhupada is explaining the position of Draupadi. Now, I can't read because the purport, because okay, we won't go into that. But she's saying so many things. She's saying so many things. Now listen to what Arjuna is saying. What is he saying? It is exactly what Draupadi is saying. How can any good come from killing my own kinsman in the battle? I can't see Krishna any happiness coming from this. Next verse. Sin will overcome us if we slay like this. There is not proper to kill the son of Dhritarashtra. They are our friends. What will we gain? Oh, Krishna, husband of goddess of... How can we be happy killing our own kinsmen? These men, they're greedy, but they're our family, they're our friends, and it'll be sinful, and we will destroy the dynasty, the family tradition will be vanquished, the family will become involved in irreligion, the women will become corrupt, there will be degradation of women, and unwanted progeny, there will be hellish situation for the family and for us who destroy the tradition, and there will be no offering of oblations of food to the ancestors. It goes on and on. It is everything that Draupadi is saying. It is all about being a good person. It is not about pure devotional service. And that is the difference. That is the essential difference. You see, we live in an age when there's no dharma. There's no conception of morality. There's no conception of anything except sense gratification and how to make money so I can satisfy by hook or by crook. And a man is honored in this Kali Yuga by how much wealth he has. He can be the most villainous person, the most horrible person. But in that age, people lived so much. That is why Lord Rāmacandra is so much worshipped that his father said, "Oh, you're about to become the king. Now, I promised your mother that whatever she wants, I'm going to give her a boon." The mother says, "Send your son to live in the forest." He says, "But I've given my word. I have to keep the rules." And Lord Rāmacandra, as the son, did he say, "No way I'm going to the forest"? No, he said, "I have to be a good son. I'm keeping the rules." So Lord Ramchandra, he's showing by example that everyone should keep all these rules that Draupadi is talking about. Right? And Krishna is giving something higher. The different avatars, they're all giving certain teachings. But Krishna is giving the highest teaching. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, these are the essence of all Vedic literature, that you give up all these ideas of what is good and what is bad, and you just try to surrender. How you surrender? That you find out, Krishna says, who is my pure devotee? Tadbidi pranipate, and you surrender unto him, and you do what he says. He can impart this knowledge to you because he knows me, Krishna says, because he has seen the truth. Tattva darshan, he has the darshan of Krishna, and we follow him. This is all rules of Dharma are subordinate. This is the highest Dharma, the perfection. This is Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma means that we have our constitutional relationship of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead under the guidance of his pure devotee. Hare Krishna.
Very good points. Excellent. If Narasimha Prabhu is on the call, would you like to make a comment, Prabhu? Is he available? Narasimha Prabhu, you're able to make a comment? I don't know if he's available.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, go ahead, Prabhu. Go ahead.
Well, it's a good point what Ishan Prabhu was making about the Dharma. I've always wondered about that also. Bhishma, Drona, why did they fight for Duryodhana just based on some dharmic rules? But it's all Krishna's pastimes, and Krishna showed that after Kurukshetra that Bhishma was a great devotee, a great learned soul. But Krishna wanted this pastime to take place. And also it's kind of surprising that I think Krishna and Arjuna had agreed that Ashvatthama should be killed, but when Draupadi protested, they went along with what she wanted to do to spare him. But if you think about it logically, I mean, if he had been killed, that would have been beneficial for him. He would have been liberated at that point. As it was, he was deprived of the jewel on his head, and he suffered for a long time. I'm not sure, 2,000 years or something. He went around. But it's all Krishna's desires, these leelas of his pure devotees. Sometimes they're showing what is the ideal dharma, and sometimes they're showing what is the ideal surrender. And Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, and he fought the battle of Kurukshetra. And Bhishma and Drona were killed in that battle. It's all by Krishna's will. But it's true, we have to find, Yudhisthira himself said that the path of actual Dharma, the highest Dharma, is very hard to ascertain by reading all the scriptures and studying all the Shastras and all the commentaries. But by accepting the path of a great soul, a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, one perfectly fulfills all Dharma ultimately. So finding that pure devotee is essential. That's why what ISKCON did was so horrendous, confusing people about what is the standard of an actual pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada.
Very nice. Thank you for your comments, Prabhu.
I have a question for Ishan Prabhu.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Ishan Prabhu. So I was going to ask you about what you were talking about, emphasizing pure devotional service over being a good person. Now, a non-devotee may hear this and they may get confused and they may think that it's okay not to be a good person if you claim to be following pure devotional service. So for the benefit of everybody, if you could please explain how that should not be misinterpreted.
I'll try to, before I before I talk about that, I just want to say on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, there was another rule of Dharma came up. One, Yudhisthira, he told him to lie to Dronacharya. Tell him that Swatama is dead. He said, how I can tell a lie? It's against the rules of Dharma. Then he said to Arjuna, Karna, nobody could defeat Karna. And his wheel of his chariot was stuck in the mud at the battlefield, and he got off his chariot to pull with all his strength the wheel out of the mud. And it's a rule, Dharma. You cannot kill a Kshatriya when he's off his chariot and his weapons are down. And what did Krishna say? Kill him! Now you take off his head with your arrow. And Arjuna again said, but it's against the rule. So the point of all of this is, there are 22 Dharma Shastras, maybe hundreds and thousands of rules, and one can keep all of them and not go back to Godhead. And one can be a pure devotee. Look at Rupa Sanatan. They were expelled from Brahminical society. Look at Haridas Thakur. He would not walk near the Jagannath temple because if his shadow would fall on a Brahmana, he'd have to jump into the water and take a bath. So all of these ideas, they're all good. They're all supportive. That these are guidelines. And in every situation, for every rule, there's another rule that will counteract that rule. And how to know what to do. Therefore, we simply have to take shelter of a pure devotee who tells us what we should do and what we should not do. And if we keep that and engage in pure devotional service under his guidance, we've kept all of the rules. So that's what we tell somebody who doesn't know. And did Srila Prabhupada tell us to commit sin? He said, you be honest and straightforward in ordinary dealings. You be a good person, but first and foremost, and you keep regular. Srila Prabhupada, what is sin? Srila Prabhupada says, all sin expands, evolves by those who break these four regulative principles. They're just extrapolations of these four sins. You keep these four sins, you practice pure devotional service under Srila Prabhupada's guidance, and you are sinless.
Very nice. Very nice. I just want to make a point. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion by Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada several times quoted his verse, Yena tena prakarena mana Krishna nisevaya. That some way or other, fix the mind upon Krishna. Sarve vidi nesha dasyur etayoreva kinkara. Kinkara means servant. That all the rules and regulations, the do's and do not do, are servant of these fundamental principles. And when we study how Srila Prabhupada introduced Krishna consciousness in America, all the way from 1965, he gradually introduced the principle, all based on the chanting. Chant Hare Krishna, offer your foodstuff to Krishna, then the regulative principles, then the deity worship. So many, and even by 1975, when Prabhupada wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he's talking about how he wanted to introduce the worship of Shaligram, because devotees are gradually becoming situated on a Brahminical platform. But there's one overriding principle about being a Brahmin. One has to be truthful. One has to speak the truth. They cannot utter falsehood, lies, and misrepresentation and concoction and distortion. That is not the business of a Brahmana. Because we see sometimes in the dealing of some devotees, they use the idea, I'm a devotee, or especially I'm a senior devotee, I'm this and that, therefore I can say anything, do anything, interpret everything. I had such and such position, therefore everybody should just listen to me or what I say. No, no, no. Be a devotee, be honest, be truthful, don't distort, don't concoct, do not manufacture crazy interpretations, because that is how things go down the drain. The Brahminical principle is based on truth. And if somebody is not truthful with himself, is polluted by false ambition, profit, adoration, distinction, all of these nonsense things will come in and pollute the intelligence, pollute the consciousness. And we've seen this. Historically, we've seen this with devotees who had a lot of personal, physical living, I love that term, living association with Srila Prabhupada, but yet overwhelmed by this desire, by profit, adoration, distinction, then so many things went down the drain. Truthfulness was out, lies came in, distortions came in, fabrications came in, very dangerous, slippery slope. That's why Prabhupada kept devotees. Be truthful, be honest, be sincere. I've seen this so many times. I've seen this. This is something, when you study the history of what has happened, especially since 1977, we've seen this. That's why this false idea of people thinking that I had so much association with Prabhupada, therefore I know better than all of you, and I understand better. Well, that is nonsense. I told one devotee, if seniority alone was such a criteria of advancement, why did so many senior devotees deviate so much and concoct so many things? So one has to be careful to understand the basic fundamental principles and follow these as best as we can, as rigidly as we can, and take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Just like today, what did we read in that lecture? What did Prabhupada tell us? When you hear about the pastime of Lord Rāmacandra, you are directly associating with Lord Rāmacandra. What did Prabhupada say in the Nectar of Devotion at the Radha Damodar Temple in late October 1972? When you hear the Nectar of Devotion of Bhaktivedanta Swami, you are directly associating with Rupa Goswami. Some people don't accept it, don't believe it. We at HKS would believe this, and we're promoting this. Thank you very much. Yes, Prabhu, you have another comment? Yes, go ahead.
So then, in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it's called the perfection of renunciation. And Krishna says, yes, because Arjuna is so full of these ideas of what is the right thing and the wrong thing, socially speaking, how the whole Varnashram system, which Srila Prabhupada says you can keep it perfect and not go to Krishna Loka, and on the other hand, and if you become Krishna conscious and you don't know, so Krishna says, yes, Arjun, after the whole Bhagavad Gita, so many arguments back and forth and questions, the perfection of renunciation is you give up all these ideas of Dharma, Sarva Dharma, and you just take up this Sanatan Dharma. All of that Dharma is to bring one to a point of becoming a devotee. So as Srila Prabhupada says, like Manusya Nam Sahasreshu or Bahunam Janmanam, after millions of births of collecting gyan, knowledge, or after so many things, one has to become a devotee. So all Vedascha Sarvera all the Vedas, all the Vedic literatures are for bringing us to the point of becoming a devotee. To give up but they're good. All this dharma, it's good to gradual purification. But the goal of it all is to become a devotee. I had some other idea, but you can't hold them all. So this is how we have to come to oh yes, all the religions of the world today, so-called, they're all about being a good person. And why are they wanting to be a good? Because they want a reward from God. And what do they want? But a pure devotee of Krishna says, you send me to heaven or you send me to hell. It's the first sentence in Nectar of Devotion. They don't even beg to be and live in my abode with me. They just want to be. Because why? Because pure devotional service is so satisfying to the heart that a devotee doesn't care. He just wants to feel his devotional connection with Krishna. And so these people are not, but Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya is teaching not all these rules, not how to be a good person, not to obtain liberation, not to get to be good karma, not to go to a higher planet, none of these things, but to go back to Krishna Loka. So although everyone in this, how do we tell people that? We're not telling them to be, but if you work actually under the guidance of a pure devotee, you can't be sinful. No. And if you make some mistake, Krishna will help you. So,
Very good.
but this is the highest dharma. This is the highest.
Very good. Any other comments? Neil Sharma Prabhu, you have a comment?
Neil Sharma Prabhu had a question. Maybe
Question?
he can address it himself.
Hare Krishna. Very nice analogy which was brought about by what we read in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and what Arjuna is going through in chapter 1 from 36 onwards. But my question still remains is that why was Arjuna motivated to kill even his own teacher, Rāmacandra, but not to kill the Dronacharya's son, who has done an equally bad action of killing the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi. So, though Krishna was trying to incite Arjuna to kill Ashwatthama, he really did not want Ashwatthama to be killed. And though Arjuna did not want to kill Dronacharya and Bhishma and all the other Kauravas, Krishna wanted him to kill them. So I don't understand this dichotomy of Krishna's thoughts, and why are they two separate results when the action is the same?
Well, the action is not exactly the same. It's basically a specific pastime of Krishna. The whole idea of the battle of Kurukshetra was Krishna wanted that first of all, to reestablish Maharaj Yudhishthira and the Pandavas in the kingdom. That's one point. Another point is all of those who supported Duryodhana and the atrocious activities. This is all part of a pastime. It's not that these people are, we have to look at it with the overall perspective, why these activities are there. Just like there was a great rishi, I believe it's either a Maitreya Muni, who went and saw Duryodhana, and he told Duryodhana that you should give the Pandavas back their kingdom. And Duryodhana slapped his thigh laughing. And this rishi, cursed Duryodhana that you will be killed but somebody will hit you in that same thigh that you're laughing. And then he left the palace. So there is a lot of different curses and counter curses, a lot of different stories. But the basic point is Krishna wanted to reestablish Maharaj Yudhishthira and all of those who were in the way, that he wanted to clear out all the demoniac kings out of the planet. So they were all assembled at Kurukshetra. They all saw Krishna. They all got liberated. All these kings that saw Krishna go there between the two armies, they all got liberated. They saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What do we read in the Ishopanishad? Pavitram param. Shuddham apapavidam, that Krishna is completely pure, no sin can touch him. Everybody who sees Krishna comes in touch with Krishna, immediately they become pure. As far as why that particular story of Draupadi, we will see in the later verses why Krishna is going to tell Arjuna, cut off his hair, cut off his jewel, and then this way it's explained that this is the punishment for a Brahmin. Deprive him of his property, deprive him of his hair, And also, this is not in Prabhupada's book, but in the Mahabharata, Ashwatthama was cursed to wander about the earth for thousands of years, and he has sores, painful sores all over his body that he cannot cure. And he is one of what is called Sapta Chiranjeev, or immortal persons, like Hanuman, like Vyasadeva, like there are certain personalities in the Vedic Shastras that have this, they don't die, they just keep, being living for certain specific pastimes. There is a place in the Bhagavatam where Ashwatthama is going to occupy a special role in the next Satya Yuga. So this is all part of intricate pastimes arranged by Krishna. Vyasadeva is still living. Hanuman is still living. Ashwatthama is still living. There's different personalities. It's called Chiranjeev. It's there. There's 7. Bali Maharaj is still living. So there are certain personalities who are there for the next particular pastimes of Krishna. Like Vyasadeva is still living in the Himalayas. So like Vibhishana is still living. These personalities are mentioned in the Shastras. They have these special boons for specific future pastimes of Krishna. Now in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is being sentimental on the basis of some dharma. Oh, we don't want to kill dharma. It's going to affect everything. Those who kill dharma are condemned to hell. There are so many reasons that are being given. But yet Krishna is thinking, you are thinking like an ordinary man, like anarya justamara, like an anarya. An Aryan, one who knows spiritual science, would not speak like this. Yes, Ram Raghava Prabhu, please. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, I have a question for you. So this comes up in controversies in modern society from time to time, sometimes more than others. So would you please comment on capital punishment with regards to punishment of people who commit murder?
Prabhupada explains in the Shastra that this is good for the person, so he will not have to suffer in his next life. He's incurring immediate reaction. And this is given in the Shastra. If you kill somebody, the king should take your life away so that in your next life you will not have to have double suffering. That's the basic explanation. It's explained like that in various ways, but in Kali Yuga, because people have no knowledge of the law of karma, they don't understand the issues of particular life. I saw a medical practitioner recently. I'm trying to preach to this doctor, right? And she's trying to, well, we have to take care of this body. I said, well, you can take care of as much as you like, but you're still going to be subject to birth, death, old age, and disease. I says in the Bhagavad Gita, intelligence is described Janma Mritu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Dosha Anudarsanam. To understand the danger of birth, death, old age, and disease, this is the criteria for intelligence. Not to build a big airplane or a big bomb or a big skyscraper. These things are material achievement. These things will end with the body. But to understand the danger of this precarious situation and to do something about it, this is intelligence. This is intelligence. So, yes, Prabhu, you have a comment. Please go ahead.
Good. The answer to Draupadi is given by Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita, where he says to Arjuna in Srila Prabhupada's words, you're speaking like a very intelligent person, but actually you're fool number one. Nobody, you can't kill anybody. You're thinking on the material platform, and we're talking on the spiritual platform. And we're trying to understand what's the goal of life. Well, speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of consideration. And this is a great step for most people. Hardly anyone can understand. Even Arjuna had a problem by Krishna's inducement with this very same materialistic point of view. Draupadi is having this very same, they're thinking this material world is reality, and we want to make everybody happy, and we want to make everything very nice, and nobody can keep it. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita begins from this point of understanding that all of this has no value at all, except if we can use it for our spiritual advancement. None of this material life has any value at all, except if we can use it for our spiritual advancement. It's not for making it very nice. It's not for making a permanent settlement here. It's not for having a nice house, a nice car, a nice family, a nice job, a nice position in society. No matter how good you can make it, nobody can keep any of it. It'll all be taken away by the stringent laws of material nature. So let's do something about that. Let's solve that problem, because we all want an eternal, beautiful life. Let's solve that problem by taking up pure devotional service. Therefore, we have to work under the guidance of someone who can take us back home, back to Godhead. Then all the rules are perfect, are solved, are taken.
I'd just like to before we finish this, I'd like to read, this is from a compilation that I've worked on for some time. It's based on a verse from the Bhakti-Rasamrita Sindhu that Prabhupada used to often quote, and I'm sure that Ishan Prabhu is very familiar with this. Therefore, Krishna consciousness, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Matihi, it is very, very rare. Rupa Goswami says this rare thing, if you can purchase it, do it immediately wherever available. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Matihi, Kriyatam Yadi Kutu Api Labhyate. If it is available, if you can purchase it, you do it. So purchase it. I can try, but what price I have to pay? Tatra laulyam ikalam mulyam. The price is simply you must be very, very eager to have it. That's all. Oh, that I can do. It is not very difficult, but I'm so much eager after money, after women, and I shall transfer. So Rupa Goswami says, no, it is not so easy. Then Prabhupada quotes the entire Sanskrit verse. He says, Janma koti sukriti bihi. If you become pious, because pious is the good position. Yesham twandagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. So to become pious is good because there is hope of understanding Krishna. Otherwise, if you remain impious, namam dushkritanu mudaha prapadyande naradamaha, Bhagavad Gita 7:15. If you remain sinful, then you'll remain always rascal. You'll never understand Krishna. You'll never understand. Therefore, we must try to become pious, and that pious means no sinful activities. Therefore, we prescribe 4 sinful things. The pillars of sinful life: no illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. 4 pillars. If you break these 4 pillars from the very beginning of your spiritual life, then you stand on a platform. But if these 4 pillars are there, you stand on a false platform, not on the spiritual platform. That is yogic siddhi. And Prabhupada goes on explaining so many angles. So this is a very important point. This is a gift that Prabhupada has given us. It's up to us to apply it and stay away from all these distractions. Profit, adoration, distinction, name, fame, power, aggrandizement, big position, all kinds of false ideas. These have to be kicked out. That's why we have to take shelter of the name of Krishna. Atasa Krishna namadi nabhaved grayam indriyai. Sevan mukhehi jibadu swayameva spuratiyada. Krishna reveals himself by the service of the devotee. What's that service? Use the tongue to chant and to taste prasadam. What do you think, Rochester Mataji? Qu'est-ce que tu penses? Qu'est-ce que c'est bien? C'est correct? Give us your bhashya. Give us your commentary. We know you have some very deep realization. You keep very, very mild and modest, but would like to hear.
Prabhupada came to give us a matchless gift, and we cannot even understand it. I'm a neophyte devotee. I don't understand it yet, and I don't think I will understand in my lifetime, but by association with devotees, I'm learning more every day. Thank you so much to be there.
You're very welcome. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I have a question that came up in the chat session. Caught my interest. Neil Sharma Prabhu asked, so the question arises, Specifically, KKE asked why. Specifically, KKE asked 14 years for Lord Ramachandra's banishment. Does Srila Prabhupada explain this?
I don't know if Prabhupada explains this, but I just pulled out something earlier that I posted in the chat. It was a rule in the Adhyatma Ranayam. The reason for asking for 14 years of exile was the belief at that time, by living a life for 14 years, the character and the nature of a man changes. The first rule was, let me see here, the real reason why KK asked 14-year Vanvas for Ram, not for 5, 10, 12, 15, or 20 years. Three main reasons. First reason, this was an administrative reason. The story of Ramayana is from the time of Treta Yuga. At that time, it was the rule that if a king leaves his throne for 14 years, he loses the right to become king. This rule is written in Valmiki Ramayana in Ayodhya. During those times, not being physically present for as long as 14 years without being in touch of any news was considered as a sign of death. Kaikeyi knew this, so she asked for 14 years of exile. It is a different matter that later Bharata refused to sit on the throne. After ending his exile, only Rama sat on the throne. Similarly, in the Dwapara Yuga era, it was the rule that if a king leaves the reign for 13 years, then his right to rule ends. Then due to this rule, Duryodhana kept 12 years of exile and 1 year of unknown for the Pandavas. So there's different rules according to the tradition or customs in the Shastra, why these various banishment in the forest were prescribed for 14 years, 13 years. I just pulled this out of the internet from Quora. It seems to be fairly good explanation. I just want to point out something that was pulled out by Neil Sharma Prabhu. Thank you very much for that, Prabhu. There's details we discuss about the 7 Chiranjeevs or immortals. Hanuman, devotee of Lord Rama, symbolized devotion and strength. Ashwatthama, son of Droma, cursed with immortality by Lord Krishna. Mahabali, benevolent Asura king, blessed with immortality by Vamana. Vedavyasa, sage who compiled the Vedas and authored the Mahabharata. Vibhishana, righteous brother of Ravana who aligned with Rama. Kripacharya, royal guru of the Pandavas and Kauravas. Parashuram, 6th avatar of Vishnu, living on Mahendragiri mountain. There are stories in India that some people, some Babajis and saints have seen this Parashuram because he's still practicing tapasya in some place in the eastern part of India in the mountains. I don't know. I've never seen him or anything. I mean, even the Madhva Sampradaya has a story that they have the brother of Madhvacharya named Vishnu Tirtha. He's still living in a mountain called the Subramanya Mountain, southeast of Udupi, southeast of Mangalore. And he has Madhvacharya steeping on copper plates. And when Kali Yuga becomes very bad, he'll come out and try to revive things. They also have a story of 2 acharyas in their Sampradaya who entered their samadhis while alive. One of them was Vadiraj Tirtha, who lived like for 125 years. At the end of his life, he just entered his samadhi alive. And there was another one in the 1600s named, I have his picture here. He is a big acharya of the Madhvas. He was a big debater and a big saint. He was very expert at preaching against the Mayavadis. When it came to time for him to leave his body, he entered his samadhi alive, and he told his disciples, close everything. He's said to be living for another 700 years. So who knows? Great personalities don't just die like normal mortal human beings. It's like people say, oh, Prabhupada is gone to Goloka. Well, he can be in Goloka and also be here. There was a letter in 1969 where Prabhupada was asked, will the spiritual master deliver all of his disciples? Prabhupada said he would stay in the universe as long as all of his disciples are not delivered. But then Prabhupada also specified another time, people have to follow his instruction if they expect to get any help from the spiritual master. So, but that's another discussion for another day. Very interesting. We'll find more interesting quotations. What do
Thank
we
you.
have at this time? Any more questions? Any chastisements, admonishments are also welcome.
Thank you, Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu and Ishan Prabhu, for the elaborate explanations. Next, we have a question by Jai Raj. He says, Hare Krishna Prabhu, what did Srila Prabhupada recommend more to read, Valmiki Ramayana or Rāmacandra Manasa of Tulsidas?
Prabhupada did not recommend to read the Rāmacharita-manas. Prabhupada said in one place this was not an authorized book. It was contaminated by Mayavadi philosophy. In other places, Prabhupada quotes from it. It's a very popular book in India because it's written in simple Hindi. It describes the whole pastimes of Lord Rāmacandra. Basically, that the common people who don't know Sanskrit could really appreciate the message. It's very popular with many people. Prabhupada did not recommend. Prabhupada says the Mula Ramayana by Valmiki is the original Ramayana. As a matter of fact, there is a verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Vede Ramayana, Mula Ramayana. The term is the Mula means original. The original Ramayana means the Ramayana of Valmiki. There's another Ramayana called Adhyatma Ramayana, where the story of the Sitaram deity is given to that Brahmana who fasted for 2 weeks. That story is also there in Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, oh, thank you for pulling this. Regarding the 2 books you have mentioned, Sri Ramcharitamanas by Kosma Tulsidas is not very authorized, and Ramayana is authorized. One thing is, though, you have got enough other books to study. Did you appear for the examination held on Janmashtami Day? Why should you go to Ramayana when you have got Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, and teachings of Lord Chaitanya? Don't divert your attention in that way. The author of Ramcharitamanas, Goswami Tulsidas, has a tint of Mayavadi philosophy. He belongs to the Ramananda Sampradaya. They are mixed up combination of personalists and impersonalists. Therefore, the author is not considered as pure Vaishnava. Pure Vaishnava is free from all material contamination of fruitive activities and mental speculation. The pure Vaishnava is simply purely disposed to transcendental loving service to Krishna. The pure Vaishnava rejects anything which has no pure idea of serving the personality of Godhead. I just want to thank Rupa Manjari Mataji for coming to the program. She is in, I believe, in Hungary or in Eastern Europe with her husband, Somagiri Prabhu, very dedicated servants of Srila Prabhupada. I want to thank everybody who attends the program. I want to make a brief announcement. Rupa Goswami Prabhu in Bombay will be installing some Gaurnitai deities, I believe, for Akshaya Tritiya. This will happen, I believe, on the 19th of April 2026. So I don't know if there's going to be a link for that, Prabhu. If there is, you can send it, and many of us will be more than happy to attend. I believe, according to India time, it's going to be between 12 and 2 or 12 and 3 or whatever. So that's a very auspicious program. And we will be holding an initiation ceremony in Edison, New Jersey on May 2nd, 2026. I will be physically there at that time. So the program that day will basically be a very brief reading of Bhagavatam and then all the few different ceremonies with many explanations from Srila Prabhupada about the meaning of fire sacrifice, the meaning of offering oblations to the fire, explanation of the real sacrifice in Kali Yuga, all from Srila Prabhupada, explanation of the meaning of initiation according to Srila Prabhupada. You know, I really sometimes, I don't get upset, but I get surprised how some people keep quoting this tradition idea. They say, oh, you know, what you people are saying is not according to tradition. My first answer is, tradition according to whom? Our only tradition is to follow the order of the spiritual master. That is our only tradition. Any other tradition will simply be diversion and nonsense. Simply easy to understand.
Thank you, Prabhu. Do we have time for a couple, 2 or 3 more questions?
Sure.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay.
Please. Prabhu, you were just talking about an installation ceremony. On my little altar at home, I have Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, little Radha Krishna, they were sent to me. I wouldn't purchase myself because I know we need to have such high level of worship, but they arrived here, so I take care. But they're not installed. So what would Srila Prabhupada perhaps say the difference between the deities we have at home, they're not installed, and the deities in the temple, they are installed?
Yeah, there are two terms in Sanskrit. One is called pratima. Pratima means a non-installed deity or idol, like a deity made by a sculptor in the shop, or a Jagannath deity they have in the shop. An installed deity is called murti. That's called, the installation is called pran pratishta. The deity comes at the request of the Acharya to basically, there's certain ceremonies, there's abhishek ceremonies, bathing ceremony, fire sacrifice. That's why the big deities and the big temples, like what we had in Fiji and Hyderabad, the ceremonies went on for 3 days, 3.5 days. A simple installation deities you can do, like if you look on YouTube and you put the words Prabhupada deity installation, you're going to see some videos of Prabhupada installing deities. He's just having an abhishek like they did in Paris, they did in London, England. Prabhupada kept things very simple. But as the movement went on, Prabhupada encouraged devotees, and my lowly self, to learn some of these things. But to make it simple, to install the deities, have an abhishek, chant the Brahma Simyana, Shikshastakam. If you're able to do a fire sacrifice in the house, you have to be careful. I saw Kapindra Swami in New York. He had an apartment in New York on the east side, and we went in there one time visiting him. The ceiling is 10 feet high, right? He has a fire sacrifice and the flames are 6 feet tall. I mean, it is like almost the ceiling was getting dark. So that kind of fire sacrifice in a small house. But you can do an abhishek and choose an auspicious day, like Lord Chaitanya's birthday, Lord Rama's birthday, or Lord Narasimha's birthday is coming up later. There's all kinds of auspicious day. Do an abhishek. If you can gather milk, yogurt, ghee, sugar, honey, that's called panchamrita. And you do, make sure you have plenty of warm water, chant some holy prayers, or chant Hare Krishna, and that will be sufficient. That'll be very auspicious.
Then what is, Srila Prabhupada has installed so many deities over the planet in all the countries, but then now they're in the hands of ISKCON. So will they depart from those deities, Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya, or they still have those same potency? They're offering. You understand? They've changed the deity worship.
Yeah.
What would perhaps Srila Prabhupada say about such
I'm really not qualified to pass a judgment on that, although at different programs, we have discussed how when you offer bhoga to Krishna, in order for a bhoga to become prasadam, it has to be done according to the instruction and direction of the Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. What they have done is totally turn upside down the process under the plea that we're following Hari Bhakti Vilas. Well, whatever Vilas you're following, if you disobey the instruction of the Acharya, the result is not likely to be very good. And we see this with the mindset of many of these people. They do not understand the philosophy. They're very confused, thinking that you can go directly to Krishna, then to Lord Chaitanya. This is not how the process goes. As far as Pran Moini Mataji has made a comment, Krishna is so merciful, how can he leave the deity? Well, Krishna can leave and come as he likes, which is not up to us. I'm not qualified to discuss or say that Krishna can also correct somebody. Krishna can forgive anybody. Krishna can clear offenses. Krishna's name, one of his name is Bhava Grahi Janardana. He take the essence of the service of a devotee. But if one repeatedly makes offenses on the plea of so-called following some tradition or some institutional corporate guideline, well, that's a different story. Again, I don't want to comment upon that because some people they don't like these kind of discussion. They have very short memory. But it's another discussion. We could have discussion for this on a more elaborate level at some other time.
There There's a question by Anshuman Mishra. He says, I have a question to Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu. It is said that Sudama Prabhu was poor later in life because once Sudama Prabhu ate food which was for Lord Krishna. But Sudama Prabhu was Lord Krishna's friend. So how can Sudama Prabhu suffer due to this reason? Prabhu, can you please explain this pastime of Lord Krishna?
I have never heard that Sudama took some food that was meant for Krishna, but maybe you heard that from somewhere.
Yes, Prabhuji.
The whole point of that particular lila is that Sudama was a very close, intimate friend of Krishna. And that Krishna, it's a pastime with the love of Krishna for his devotee and the devotee's love for Krishna. Because his wife, Sudama's wife, kept asking, well, what Krishna is so many palaces, go ask him so he can give you some benefit. So Sudama gave Lord Krishna just a little bit of chip rice. And then there's Rukmini, so you can't take that. If you take that, you're going to be indebted to him. And then when he came back to his house, there was a big, massive palace that Krishna had given him. So there's a lot of intricate aspects to this transcendental lila, but the basic point is, it's the intimate, loving relationship between Krishna and Sudama and Krishna, and Rukmini's warning that you give that to this devotee, you take his offering to you, you're going to be indebted to him. But Krishna just took it anyway. And Sudama's wife also was like, well, we're very poor. Why don't you ask your friend Krishna? He's very rich. He lives in Dwarka. And there's so many different aspects to this. So that's the way I see this. I hope that helps.
I think I read that other Prabhu wants to speak.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I think Prabhu, I read remotely that when Sudama and Krishna were children in the brahmacharis, Krishna, in the home of their spiritual master, and they were in the forest, and there was a big storm. They both went up into trees, and they had the food with some prasadam with them, and that Sudama ate, and he didn't offer to Krishna to share. That might be what happened. But the thing is, when we ask why would Sudama be penalized, so to speak, in that way, why would he make a mistake being a pure devotee of Krishna? Why would Arjuna be totally he calls himself Kripana. He says, why would he be put into illusion and be thinking in terms of when he's Krishna's intimate friend? So all of these relationships are for teaching us certain lessons. If Arjuna didn't have that difficulty, we wouldn't have Bhagavad Gita. If Sudama didn't have that difficulty, whatever it was, if it was, it's all for teaching us something. Krishna uses his devotees in different ways like that.
Yes, Neil Sharma Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. No, the story is very clear. You're absolutely right that this dates back when Krishna and Sudama are in Sandipani Muni's ashram as students. And so Durvasa Muni comes to the doorstep of the Sandipani ashram. And that time Guru Mata is there, that is the wife of Sandipani Muni. And she has kept certain fruits aside for Sudama and Krishna, so that when they go to the forest to get some wood and other stuff, they can have those fruits during that particular long journey. And so when Durvasa Muni comes and asks, Bhiksham Dehi, please give me some something to eat, the Guru Mata says, I don't have anything to eat. And of course, due to divine visions, Durvasa Muni sees that she has kept those fruits. And even though the fruits are there in the house, she did not offer it to him. So he says, whoever will consume those fruits, they will perpetually be poor. They will never have any materialistic opulence. And this curse was heard by Sudama. Krishna was not there in the periphery at that time. Sudama hears this. So as usual, the fruits are given to Sudama and Krishna, and of course they are going into the forest, And Sudama knows very clearly that these fruits are cursed. So they were supposed to share it. And Sudama says, no, I'm not going to share it. He eats both the fruits himself. So Krishna says, hey, that is not right. Why did you do that? He says, I was too hungry. I'm sorry. And he does not tell Krishna the real story.
Ah,
And that's why when Sudama goes back to Dwarka, Krishna being Antaryami, being the knower, all cognizant, he knows this whole story. So remember, being a Brahmana, Prabhupada says what? You are choosing a life of voluntary poverty. You are choosing this life of voluntary poverty so that you can understand, you are dedicating yourself only to Krishna. Sudama chose to be that. He chose to become voluntarily poor and not let Krishna be that. So Krishna built Dwarka and became the king, became the emperor, while Sudama remained poor. And this Krishna knew. And so when Sudama goes to Dwarka asking for help, he did not even ask him, but Krishna gives him right away. And so Rukmini is seeing all this. So as he's eating the puffed rice, he's just giving away to Sudama. And so Sudama, even though not asking, gets everything. So this is what we talk about being a Brahmana, a life of voluntary poverty. You're choosing Krishna over mundane materialistic comforts. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for that, Neil Sharma Prabhu. We also have a question by Jairaj, which says, which book should we read for deity worship process of Prabhupada?
Well, ISKCON has got the Archana Paddhati. The prayers are bona fide. There's no question about the prayers. You can work on the prayers. The problem is the procedures were taken from a Gaudiya Math book. Prabhupada gave instruction they should compile a 20-page book based on Hari Bhakti Vilas. Wherever they ended up with translation of a Gaudiya Math book. I don't know. There's no record of Prabhupada ever putting his approval on that book from the Gaudiya Math. So I tell people you can learn the prayers, keep it simple, and leave it at that. As far as all the procedures, I don't know. I can't comment on that.
there is, I have one quote that I copied from a lecture by Srila Prabhupada about offering. He says, you should have an attitude, we should say, my dear Krishna, I want to give you something, but I'm a very small person. I'm paraphrasing, and I don't have a great ability to gather things that are suitable for you. But hey, but I'm giving you, please accept. And Srila Prabhupada said, this is mantra. He says, this is the mantra. It's the attitude is more important than all of it.
Yep.
And that's, I saved that purport because, Hare Krishna. There are people are so much on what is the rule, what is the mantra. People sometimes ask me, what is this mantra, what is that? They don't understand it's the spirit of the, it's not the letter of the law, it's the spirit of the law. We speak in legal terms, but we can apply that metaphor to our spiritual life. It's not the letter of the law, it's the spirit of the law. What if a person is in the prison house? He can't do arati ceremony. What if a person has lost his hands? He can't do japa. So many things, but there's no impediment for being a devotee. It's all about the heart. It's all about our sincerity. It's all about kind of cultivation of Krishna consciousness under the guidance of a pure devotee of the Lord. It means we have to have an intimate relationship with him. Then he becomes a transparent via media. Through his heart, we can see Krishna.
Thank you, Ishan Prabhu. And I think we've come to the end of the questions and we're out of time. Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, if you'd like to give the final announcements before we play the kirtan.
Thanks everybody for coming. And next week we will have a discussion on Balaram Rasa Yatra, along with celebrating the appearance or disappearance of two great acharyas. So we will prepare for that, make sure that everybody is well informed. If anybody wants to get copies of the original 1962 Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, you can contact me or contact Krishna Kata. We have a supply and we will make arrangement to provide you some copies. And thank you everybody for participating, and we look forward to see you again next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances. We all offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like these are trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Thanks everybody for participating in this lively program. Rāmacandra Prabhu, Ishan Prabhu, Narasimha Prabhu, Rochi Samataji, dans la belle province de Québec, and all of you who have joined us. We greatly appreciate your presence. We greatly appreciate your comments and questions. Again, any questions, any inquiries, admonishment, chastisements are also welcome. And please join us again next week for the continuation of the story of Ashwatthama Draupadi, as we will see some very interesting developments. And we will be reading about Lord Balaram Rasa Yatra next week. Very interesting transcendental pastime as well. Let us hear the last kirtan or transcendental program.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.